This is another good. I was just answering a question in one of the CP groups. I don't answer all the questions, but sometimes I answer them. Where did I put it? Oh my goodness, I was charging it. So, AAC topic. Back to school to-dos. Just like a computer, you can do little housekeeping on your device. I always clean up any like videos, images, files in case Kaylin or Wesley has downloaded a bunch of stuff, and that just kind of helps with the storage. Highly recommend. Of course, you can get these on Amazon. It's in my office. These will work for your phone and your devices. External storage. Mine kind of looks like a little triangle where you can just plug it directly into your phone or your tablet and download a bunch of stuff. Our problem is videos. But the question that came up in the group actually was really similar to the issue that I had with our device very early on. Ta-da! We have an iOS operating system, which means Kaylin's an Apple user. Apple products versus Android, different operating systems. So if you want to sound fancy in the tech world, know what an operating system is. But the other thing is, these have, in my experience over the years, and coming from two different states, I don't know what it looks like in California because we don't need to go through this process in California. But in Colorado and Arizona, not necessarily dependent on whether insurance funds the device or Medicaid. We have never had an insurance company fund our device. It has always been Medicaid. Arizona, we paid out of pocket. Medicaid wouldn't even fund it. Now, I'm only sharing that because I have a kiddo that is considered severely disabled. Probably because we check a lot of boxes. She's got physical impairments, cognitive impairments, just global delays across the board, and a vision impairment. And that was a really big sticking point at the time that we were going through insurance. But there is a warranty on the device itself. So if you have issues that are not software related and it actually has to do with the hardware of the device, a really common example of that would be not holding a charge. So I think Apple probably more than Android. And again, I'm an Apple girly through and through, but they are known for having charging issues. Their batteries don't seem to last as long either. So could be a number of things, but we went through the painstaking process of sending this out for repair and then waiting a month to get it back. That was the worst month of my life. I am kind of being dramatic about that, but when you take away your child's voice, they might have some feelings on it. So what you can do, this is probably not going to be very helpful for folks that live in, I don't know, rural communities, because they are not going to have the same access to a lot of community resources if you were to live in near a major city like Denver, Colorado is a major city. They also have a lot of really incredible resources for, I don't know, the entire disabled population. So Colorado, California are two states that are ranked for having a lot of resources supporting the disabled population. So lucky me, I live where the resources are more abundant than other places, but I used to live in Arizona. And this will be helpful no matter where you live, this is what you can expect when you have a hardware issue with your device. You're going to have to send it to the company. So always recommend that you save the box that it comes in, or just use lots of packing supplies. They are not liable if this gets damaged in the mail. So lots of stuff, because you don't want to crack your screen. You don't want to damage anything. Do not leave this connected to anything while shipping. It is very, very easy for things to get bent in these ports, which could cause a charging issue. Could just be a bad cord. It could be a bad battery. There's a number of things that they're going to check. Again, we worked with Forbes AAC for our Pro Slate, because they are the ones that shipped us the device. So we did not ship this back to Tobii. We did not buy this directly from Tobii Dynavox, but that's actually where I started, because, but again, so pack it up really good. Again, you'll have to, there's a whole thing of like, if you have to reach out to the vendor to have them look at this. Here's the caveat. In Colorado and Arizona, you can get evaluated for a speech device every 5 years. So kind of how they have rules around like wheelchairs and how often they'll approve a wheelchair unless you can prove that your child has grown a significant amount. Similar with a communication system where they come up with these numbers willy-nilly. I mean, aside from Kaylin, I have one typical child. He's 8. He has never had a tablet last for 5 years. So why would we expect this to last for more than 5 years? So either way, how they come up with the rules is beyond me. Who knows? But what I will say is, if you are approaching that timeline, depending on what needs to be fixed with your device, oh man, it's a pain. And what your options are is going and initiating a new evaluation through a speech language pathologist. I have done telehealth over the years if we've absolutely had to, meaning my child has been sick and we don't want to lose our spot, or weather conditions, we just simply don't want to drive in the snow. But speech is one of those where my kiddo, it's really, really helpful to have someone hands-on. Also really challenging with a speech device if you have a fairly new user, for them to stay engaged and then, you know. So not a lot of really great tips for telehealth. So if you are in a rural community and you just don't have access, I mean, shoot me a message. Maybe I can help you find a place where you can go for like more of an intensive style AAC type of camp. I know that those exist in Colorado. I have not, we didn't do that much research for the camp options in Northern California. Kaylin went to Camp WAMP. So again, they're, feel like they're, what do you call it? Their reputation preceded them. I have followed Steve Wampler, that foundation, for a really, really long time. So camp was an easier decision for us in California versus Colorado. There's so many to choose from, but Camp Alec is the one that I'm most familiar with. And the one year that Kaylin got in, she actually got sick, so she wasn't able to attend. But we do know personally several campers that have done Camp Alec, and again, the reputation precedes them as well. But this is the type of camp that includes outdoor recreation and AAC, which is a really common concept in Colorado. So, huge fan of Colorado. I'm a huge fan of therapy organizations that are combining the two, because let me tell you about the language explosion in my child that, again, written in records, which we're we're having addressed. But written in her medical records is, I have a child that has been diagnosed as a nonverbal child. So, if you followed me for any amount of time, you know that Kaylin is noisier than all of the Tahoe birds combined. But man, oh man, is she a chatty kid. And yes, her language looks different. Not all of it is intelligible. But when you figure out how to unlock that, the world is your oyster? I don't know. Anyway, so lots of sayings there, but those are my recommendations. If you are experiencing an old device or something that finally needs likely maybe just some updates, you can reach out to the company. If your device is not covered by a warranty, I would ask them up front for an estimate of the cost and an ETA, and I would double the ETA, because ours, again, simple charging issue. Ours was not a matter of just replacing a bad cord. Of course, if it's just a cord, buy your own. Don't ship this back, because that's going to be expensive. And again, they do not pay for shipping. They'll ship it back to you, but this cost me $75 to ship. Again, I did not know that overnighting it was literally not important. So don't overnight it, just ship it, and request a loaner device in the meantime, so you can either work with your SLP, or the company specifically might be able to send you to a resource. Some places have their gear library or device library built into their town's library. I have seen this in Utah, and I have seen it in California. I am not close enough to a library that offers these, but I love this concept. Love this concept. I am not a speech language pathologist, just a mama that has had a lot of devices over the years, and I'm a software engineer. So I know a thing or two about software, and if I can share tips, tricks that'll help a family out with their devices, I'm always happy to help. I feel like technology is kind of my love language. I'm incredibly lazy, so I like to find ways where technology can do the work for me. But now I've got to go find my Social Security card. So wish me luck. It's somewhere in my storage unit.